Hi Stampin' friends, and today I'm going to use the Sand and Sea Designer Series paper. I'm doing a series to show you some ways to use papers if you do not have the stamp set and the dies to go with it. So that's kind of my goal today. First I'll just really quickly show you these papers. We have some little sea urchins, and the back side is a nice blue. We have some pretty white on pink seashells, and then the back side is kind of a nice mottled look. Then we have some seashells, and the back side is kind of a nice sand. We have this kind of together here with some pinks and yellows, and the back side is a real pretty kind of cute little starfish set. And then we have this kind of stripe with a blue striated background. So of course, I'm sure I don't have to tell you that some of these would be gorgeous, like this one with maybe the artistically inked, or some of the newer sets that where you kind of use modeled a bit of color. And so those would be great with just about anything that you could imagine. But what I'm going to show you today is ways to use them using some of these seashells that are in the actual paper that I've cut out. So let's get started on that. Let's see. All right, so what I did was cut out a couple of different sentiments. Now the sentiments are not from this set because I didn't buy this set. I used one from this Timeless Tropical. I used the Rest and Relax, You Deserve It. And then from Prized Peony, I used Your Sweet Friendship Refreshes the Soul, because I thought that kind of went with this sort of like beachy theme of it all. So on this one, I'm using the kind of like almost like little sea bubbles. And then the Your Friendship Refreshes the Soul. I used the Sahara Sand ink. And then what I did with this, there are a lot of the seashells, you can cut out the whole seashell. But then there are some that you end up next to the edge of the paper, and so you can't quite get all of them. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Like these edges here. So when I'm ready to cut those out, rather than waste these pieces, you know, you can always tuck these under like this and create a little seashell type thing under that. And I've done this before. I know many of you probably are like, oh, you've shown that to us 20 times. But maybe not 20, but this is a lot of fun to do with flowers and other little shapes that we have. So you can see here, this will be really pretty. And then a lot of times what it's nice to do as well is to go ahead and put maybe one in a contrasting color that is all the way cut out, like, okay, maybe this one, and put it on the top so that it just kind of adds. And once you've done that, all you really need to do is to add maybe some ribbon along the bottom, and maybe put some embellishments. You could either sprinkle some pearls over it, because that would kind of go with the beachy theme, or you could just put some sequins or something up the top to just kind of reflect. So let me show you that one. So this is one idea, and when I have this on my blog, it will look better because I'll have it popped up on dots and I'll have the embellishments all on it. So there is one idea for your paper. Let me set this to the side. There we are. So now I have this one, and I used the Mini Messages stamp set and dies. Actually, it's the Mini Happenings, the updated version. And I used Friends Forever and cut it out. I don't think this is the one that necessarily lines up with it, but that's the one I wanted to use. And this says that it is Melon Mambo, but I liked this Flirty Flamingo with it. I thought it was quite pretty. So that's kind of where I went, because this to me is not quite as dark as Melon Mambo. That's just my opinion. So let me go ahead and stick this down. And it's usually, let's see, I might want to use this side because I think I got it a little larger than the bottom, than the other side. So what I'm doing here is lining that up as if that is the top. Oh, I didn't quite. Let me pull that off real quick. Give it a slight scooch over. There, that's better. That's quite a bit better. There we are. And then I'm going to put this top on, and it's going to overlap just a little bit. And the reason we do that is it just saves paper. The next card we do, I'm going to use the whole sheet. Not for any particular reason, just because I have paper and I might as well. But I'll just show you, this will show you two different ways. You can line this up, but if you have any trouble getting this lined up, you could always just use a larger piece of one or the other, whichever one you're either the bottom or the top, if you're wanting to do that. Then I use this pink with white right here, and I thought it would be really pretty to maybe put some white ribbon on. So I thought maybe I would put this across the back. Use some, this would be gorgeous as well. You could put that on as, it would be really cute as well. I'm just putting this here. Here we are. And then I'm just wrapping it around the back. Now this is one of our ways to save ribbon so that it doesn't, you don't have to spend as much on your cards. And I'm just putting it around here. There we are. Just give that a little snip. And then decide if I have it even. That sometimes takes a minute. So now I'm ready to just go right over the top of it with my adhesive. So I don't want it to move after I have it where I want it. And then I'm just going to put this right in the center here. And I want it to cover up my seam where I put the cards, where I put the pieces of designer series paper together. So there, I've done that. And then now I'm ready to add my Friends Forever and maybe some seashells. So what I was thinking with this is this large swirly shell might be cute. And then maybe this smaller shell just kind of tucked under here could be pretty. So let me go ahead and put that in. Tuck it right under there. And then I think I'll put my Friends Forever there. And then, you know, you can always put it a little out over the edge. That just kind of adds a little interest so that your card isn't just square and plain. This gives it a little more emphasis. So I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals or dimensional bits on the back of this. I like to use up these little side pieces when I can. There's that. Make sure I didn't get it over the edge. Then I'm going to put some on my shell. Just pull the backing off. There we are. I'm all about not wasting. Okay, so then I'm just kind of laying them gently where I'm going to put them. And once I've decided that I like it and it seems straight, I better look at it just to be sure. Kind of to the side there. Okay, so there you can see I put that together. And then I'm ready to just look over here and grab some pearls. I have several different ones here. We do have these pretty pearls that went with the hydrangea paper that we had earlier in the year. So I think that could be a pretty one to just kind of scatter on here. And when it is against this pink paper, it looks even bluer. These are not very blue. They're like a nice, really pale blue. But I think with these papers, they look even brighter. I put one there, and I just need one more. Typically, we try to use, you know, just in general, we try to use odd numbers of embellishments. So there you can see that. And then I think it needs just a little more, so I think I'm going to make a bow. And I think I might make a double loop bow, like this, but a tiny one. Kind of a smaller one than I usually make. Like this. And there we go. Then use my scissors. and then just cut another piece to wrap around the center of my bow. Whoops, that one tried to get away. Not having that. Haha. And then I'm just going to use this as the bow's center. Kind of scooch it over, get it just like I want it. Even them up as best I can. There we are. And then you can decide if this looks happy to you, you can leave however much of the little edge ribbon you want. I'm just going to trim it off real quick. There we are. So then I think that just kind of adds a little more happiness right over here to the edge. Kind of right there, like a little Friends Forever. Now I need to move this, don't I? Because I got that right in the spot. Okay, there we go. So I might just, you could put this kind of right here on the edge so that you can still see your ribbon that's going across there. And you might not have even needed to put that ribbon on there. Probably would have been fine. So let me get a mini glue dot. Get it picked up. And just pop that right on there. And kind of fluff my bow out. All right. So there you can see that possibility. Let me clean this right here out of the way. Take this to my little trash can. It's so handy to have those next to you when you're working. And now I'm ready to do this last one. And what I did here was I used this paper. The only one of these papers that has a sand look on the back is the one with the pretty seashell, so you kind of have to make your decision. But I liked making this. This is the back side of the urchins. So I liked making this into like where the sand meets the shore. I mean, where the sea meets the shore, or the sea meets the sand. If you wanted to make it look like it was foamy, you can see this is one look. And I do like this look, so this might be the way you'd want to use it. But you can also tear it this way, and that will create white. And so that might make it your edge look like it's a little bit of foamy sea coming up to the shore. So if you get any little bits of pink showing through from one like that, you need to tear those off. But there you can see I've made it look like it's just kind of rushing against the shore, if you've got a good imagination. So now I'm just putting my adhesive on that. And then what I need to do here, you know, I've cut this to 4 inches. So it's going to be fairly close, but I just want to make sure that I've got it kind of straight on there so that it doesn't have anything showing. Because you have just a couple minutes to kind of scooch these guys before they stick down really well. And if you should have any problems, you can always just recut it with your paper cutter to even it up and make it neat. All right, so at this point, I'm going to put dimensionals on the 4 corners and one in the center. And the center one is just to kind of make it a little more sturdy. Since it is just one layer of designer series paper. You know, the designer series paper is thinner than the cardstock. Okay, so now I'm ready to line this up on my cardstock base. There we are. And if anything isn't stuck, like right there, I probably just didn't put very much on there. So I can just add a little more adhesive as I need to. And then I thought I would put this kind of right here on the edge. Might need to turn around and give it a look. I kind of like to put the sentiments on the right. I'm not really sure why. And then just tuck these guys kind of all around. Probably want to use 2 of one color and then not of another. And just kind of add those right along the edge. And then once I've done that, I think it would probably be pretty to add some pearls. And this time, I think instead of doing a scatter, I think I will just put them right up in the corners. using the tiniest ones. I'm just using my fingernail. If your fingernails don't work for that, you can always use tweezers or the you pick tool. You know, we have this little tool that you can, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I was trying to take the cap off. That has this little bit of clay on the end that will allow you to kind of scoot things and pick them up, and then they're caught on this little tool and you can add them to your card. So I think what I'm gonna do is put a couple down here in this corner as well. I don't usually do that, but I kind of like the idea of a lot of pearls being on the on a card about the sea. I just think that kind of adds. So there we are. And I'm probably going to go back and even those up because they're probably not exactly how I will want them when I've got a finished card. But anyway, this is some ideas of what to do with Sand and Sea, and I hope that helps you use your paper if you've bought a Designer Series paper share, or if you are doing some other projects where you end up with leftover paper and you need ideas for it. Anyway, have a great day. Bye-bye.